by 2027, we want to have at least 500,000 people that have come and seen it. So it's a pretty big goal. But if you don't set big goals, you're never going to fill them. You're never going to get anywhere. So I've always taken my wallet and throw it and then go try to find it.
Yeah.
So that's what we're doing.
Welcome to Beyond the IMO, where financial industry leaders will challenge your perspective and offer strategies to help you thrive in your independence. Here's your host, Justin Woodbury.
Welcome back to Beyond the IMO. In the 1950s, when TV was invented, radio was declared dead by many analysts. They said anything radio can do, TV can do better. But instead, radio just reinvented itself and started focusing more on music formats. But ever since then, any new technology that has come out, like Walkmans and CD players in the 1980s, satellite radio in the 2000s, streaming platforms, podcasts, analysts have continued to predict the end of radio, yet radio continues to dominate other media channels. A recent 2026 report put out by Nielsen revealed that 97% of Gen Xers ages 45 to 60 represents the most consistent daily listeners of radio, which was shocking to me because I honestly can't remember the last time I intentionally turned on the radio, so I must be in that 3%. Baby boomers, which is ages 61 to 79, is the generation that spends the most time listening per week, with 69 to 78% of total ad-supported audio time dedicated to traditional radio. For advisors, that means that our audience is still actively listening to the radio. It's not going anywhere. In fact, it's increasing in some areas. Almost every top IMO offers to help advisors get on radio, but there's a few that actually do a really incredible job at setting an advisor up for success on radio. From scripts to hosts to recording equipment to media buys to airtime, they have it dialed in. And although you might have to pay for your own airtime, the IMO uses a portion of the overrides they receive from your business to cover the cost of the recording, editing, and producing, as long as the advisor stays with that IMO and continues to write their business through them. And I know of several success stories of advisors who've done just that. But a question I get asked often is, what happens if an advisor wants to leave to join another IMO? Well, they lose their scripts, they lose their hosts, they lose their media buys, they lose their airtime, and in some cases, their spot is replaced almost immediately with another advisor, another competitor. And when that happens, it can take years to reestablish that credibility. My guest today is Coach Pete. Pete's a financial advisor who built his own radio and TV studio because he wanted to maintain his independence. He wanted to be able to partner with whomever he wanted. Coach Pete was doing radio in this industry long before it was ever popular, and he has pioneered much of what radio looks like today in the financial industry. I've been to Coach's headquarters in North Carolina, and I'll tell you, it's like nothing I've ever seen before. It is state of the art. Best of all, he lets advisors have access to his TV and radio studio, and he provides the exact same services that every IMO offers with no strings attached. And when advisors discover how shockingly affordable it is, they wonder why they haven't done this sooner, which is why I've been excited about this particular episode for quite some time. You're listening to Beyond the IMO, and here's my conversation with Coach Pete. So I know when I met you, I guess I met you about a year ago, but then we started talking. I came out to the studio and stuff, but I was fascinated by your story of wanting to have a radio TV show where you owned it. And if you ever moved around to another RIA or IMO or stuff, you still owned that media. So can you talk a little bit of just a little bit of background on how you got started in the radio industry and when you founded, it's the Broadcasting Expert, right?
Right. Yeah. Been in the insurance, been insurance licensed since 1992. Started working with teachers to begin with, designed a system to get teachers to respond to me by a postcard, postage paid postcard I put in their boxes at school, and open payroll slots back in the day. Made a lot of money doing that. And then the internet came and it basically ruined my business because people could find out about the 403B by going online. Yeah. So reinvented myself, did some seminars. We've all done the dinner seminars, but figured out real quick and by 2003 that the credibility wasn't being built. I mean, you were the person buying food for people. And I love talking in front of people, but I said, but you can only talk to 30 to 50 people in a night. What if I could talk to thousands of people every single minute on the radio? So I went into radio stations. They had no idea how to price these. This was, again, back in 2003. Nobody was doing radio like they are now. Everyone's trying to do radio. But the secret then, and I figured this out right away, you never get a second chance to make a first impression. So if you go on air, you need to do a good job. Yes. You don't want to be the person that people are laughing at because the show stinks. So I started a show every week that they own themselves.
Yes.
Because I've seen the advisors when they try to go from one FMO to another, if the FMO built the website for them and hosted it for them, as soon as they leave, the website goes dark. So I want to control my stuff because we're the ones paying the bills.
Branding and your meat and stuff, right?
Yeah, and you don't want them holding hostage. You're holding hostage because they own your domain name. So on our radio show, before we ever talk about any term, I make sure to get a domain name or to get the own that domain name before I start talking about whatever term. Like income planning is already taken, but financial fill-up or retirement autopilot was not taken. So I got those domains, and then we talk about a financial fill-up strategy, which is basically income planning. Every single year in retirement, your checking account gets refilled with a certain income amount. That's financial fill-up strategy. And financial cruise control. I had a guy call one Monday. He called. He said, my wife was listening to your show this weekend, and she said we need to call about some kind of cruise control, because we needed retirement income for the rest of our life. And I said, the financial cruise control strategy. So I set an appointment. They became a big client. They had a couple $1 million, but they wanted financial cruise control. They didn't want to worry about income anymore.
Right.
So if we just said income planning, they're going to Google income planning. They're going to come up with all the big boys, and they're not going to come see you.
Yep.
But if you own the term, you can't be what I call Google slapped.
Yes.
And when you go to Google, they're gone. And
Talk about Google slapped for a minute. I've never heard another advisor say that before.
Yeah. Well, we use these terms like, just get an annuity. Well, they're going to when they search annuity, how many good things are said about annuities online?
Yeah.
A lot of bad things too, right?
Yes.
And so, but there's more than just an annuity. It's a specialized annuity, and it's one that gives them lifetime income. So instead of saying lifetime income, which once they put that in a search engine, you get slapped, they're gone. In other words, there's a million and other companies using that same term, and they're going to come up higher on Google than you probably. But if you own the term, like I do, if they search financial cruise control, the only thing that can come up is me because I own that term. Now, some people can buy. I've noticed some of the big boys now are starting to buy some of my terms. That's pretty smart. You can leech on to somebody like that. But if you want to have a show that you get good results and you start building a brand and controlling it, you need to do your own show, and you don't need to have somebody give it to you free unless they're going to make sure that there's no strings attached to that.
That's right. Yeah. So I want to break down just for a second and pause because this is so important, Coach. Owning your own brand and owning your own unique brand so you're not getting Google slapped is so important.
Yes.
Because if I had financial cruise control, anyone can go anywhere to get a financial plan, but they can only go to Justin Woodbury to get the financial cruise control plan or whatever. So when they do Google that's showing up at the top of Google search results, you're owning that. And although you're right, your competitors can try to bid on that, Google is pretty good at making sure that they show the most relevant search results. So if you're there and you own that term, they're probably going to show you before they show a competitor.
Yeah, because you're building authority and credibility that way because you are the owner of that site. And so it's important to have a good landing page at whatever site you give out or term you give out on air too. So again, it all works together, but we're all trying to get people to bring us their money, and we're going to reposition it for them. That's what the money world is. It's everyone's trying to get the money and do the right thing, or hopefully you think they're going to do the right thing. So we know we're doing the right thing, and we're getting in touch with more people. Yes. And if they hear us week after week, we become a welcomed guest into their house. I'm always amazed. I've been on radio now for 22 years. And it's still amazing where people come in. They said, I've been listening to you for 20 years. Didn't need you, but we knew when we did, you were going to be the one we call. So you're like the house doctor that's in their house every single, or a car, whatever. You're in their life every single week. They don't need you, but they look at you like they already know you, even they don't really know you. So the first appointment is always almost like a third appointment when they come in because they're starting to tell me things I talked about over the years. Yeah. And they're telling me what they want.
Yeah,
and so,
staying top of mind.
Yeah, and that's important in this world. And so plus the credibility's a lot higher than me feeding them a steak to get their attention.
Right.
So that's what we like about radio. And also we build TV shows same way. TV a little tougher than radio because think about how many channels you have on your TV and then think about how many channels you have on your radio. And there's probably one or two radio stations you always listen to when you get in your car. You probably have that. Yeah. I know I do. Yeah. Thomas back there, Thomas nodding. You got a couple. Can people see you, Thomas? You going to be on camera?
No, they
can't see you. But Thomas, right? It's a couple stations, right?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
And so you can be on those stations a lot of times, if not with a radio show. There's one station we want to be on, but they won't let us have a show. But we do our Money Minutes, they're called. So we'll pick out some good aspects of our show, some good comments and questions. We put together a question and answer segment with a call to action, and it's a 1-minute commercial, but it sounds like a news segment. So these are our Money Minutes. So we talk about a money topic. We go to the expert, who is you, whoever the advisor is. They give a short answer. And to find out more information or to get your own blank or whatever we talk about, call right now. The next 10 of you will do it at no cost or obligation. Yes. Non-threatening commercial, and it works well. And we get double the amount of leads during the week that we do on the weekends nowadays. Because on the weekends, it's a whole different kind of audience, too. You got the weekend listener. It's a lot different than the weekday listener going back and forth to work.
Okay.
And so we get both of them because we don't just depend on the weekend radio show. And the cool thing is, if you do an ad series on the same station that you have a show, if you get, like we have a bunch of our ads on some of the stations that we have our show each weekend. Well, now they say, gosh, I hear this guy every week. Maybe we should give him a call, honey. You're in the car with your wife, whatever. All of a sudden, they're calling you. So the more times you can be in front of them, the better, especially in a good way. And so that's why the show, you never get a second chance to make a first impression. So if you do a radio show, it must sound like a real radio show and not just a guy with a microphone who has bad sound, no intro. So when you listen to some of the national shows, there's always an introduction. Music or whatever. Then they go to have sound beds when they go to breaks, and they have real commercials.
Yes.
Then they come back to the show. That's the way we've designed our show. We own all our music too, so you're never going to get sued by using. Let's say you love Coldplay and you play Coldplay, you're going to get sued. But what if we have a version of Coldplay that we've done that isn't Coldplay, but it sounds cool just like them? Then we can use that, and it doesn't cost you anything, and you're not going to get sued by ASCAP or whatever they call that place. Thomas, is that what it's called?
ASCAP.
ASCAP.
It's ASS what? I forgot the rest of it. No, but you just want to stay out of trouble in this business, and that's all we try to do. And we have show notes every single week for the people that we do shows for. The show notes are just in case you've had an eventful week and no one has come into your office and asked you a question or told you a concern about money that you haven't thought about lately.
Yes.
What I do is we have the show notes. I use the same show notes we supply all our advisors, but we never use them because I always have stuff already talked about. I hear about some of the stories in our planning division upstairs every week where people come in with questions or concerns or they saw this or whatever. We build a show around relevant information that our seniors that we talk to are talking about.
Happening that week,
But if you don't have something to talk about and you're the kind of person that needs guardrails, we have show notes, and it's for every single segment of the show notes and even sound clips that go along with the show notes. So
now,
it's amazing.
Do you guys provide co-hosts?
We even have a co-host for it. We match you up with who we think is going to be good for you in your area. Okay. We have 7 different voices, male and female. And
so
go ahead.
Can someone, do they fly into your studio to do radio, TV? I'm assuming TV, or can they do radio from home with the co-host and have it produced and edited and produced from their office? If they
can do it from their very own car if they need to, right? There's a special app we can do that. We get you all the equipment. We show you how to get the equipment. Back when we first started doing radio for advisors, the equipment list was a little longer and a lot more expensive. It was like $8,000 for the equipment back in the day to do a show that still didn't sound as good as it does these days. Now, Thomas, you're nodding. If tell you, we can hit your audio. About $500. Is that what it is?
Oh
now?
Yeah.
And these are all stuff you can buy at Amazon now. We used to have to go to special radio supply companies back in the early 2000s to get the equipment. Now we go right to Amazon. We just show you what you should buy, then we set it up manually through the phone. We have an appointment to set it up, make sure everything's fine, test it out, do a little beta testing, back and forth, making sure everything's fine, and then we set up a schedule where every single week you talk to your radio host at a certain time. So now we have something that is relevant on our calendar, and we make the time for it, and we reserve about an hour every single week, and that's it. You reserve an hour, talk about your topics, you hang up. And within, by Thursday night, your show is delivered right to the radio station, and you get a copy as well, complete with the sounds and the editing, and it sounds like your national personality. It's amazing what we've been able to do. And here's what, back when I first developed this, I would have gladly paid someone like the stuff I'm doing. I would have paid someone to do it. It would have saved me millions of dollars.
Yes.
If somebody offered this, but no one did. So I'm an advisor, just like you guys watching, and I need leads just like anybody else. And I wanted to design a program that really got leads and wasn't just somebody ripping me off.
Yeah.
That's what we feel like a lot of times. If you ever try to buy leads, these are your leads too. You're not splitting it with anybody else. These are your leads and your success. And most of the people that stick, you got to stick with it for at least a year. But if you stick with it a year, you're never going to leave it.
So I was just going to ask that. So the reason I think advisors are attracted to dinner seminars is they can have a targeted direct mail dinner seminar today and be meeting with a client by Wednesday or Thursday, or a potential client. Sometimes I know advisors have gone into radio and they thought they could do a radio production show today and have a guest tomorrow, or have a client or an appointment tomorrow, and it doesn't quite work like that, right?
Not quite, but if you started today, within 2 weeks we could be running. We could be as long as you have we help you negotiate the radio stations too. And so the one thing we can't control is availability on your station. So we can get you on the waiting list if that's the case for a good station. And here's another thing: the cheapest station may not be the best station. So if a station is cheap, the reason why it's cheap is because they don't have as many listeners as the station that charges more. So I'm on every station I can get on. But
Okay.
I started on trying to get the best station, because once you get the best station, let's say you get like 4 or 5 leads on that best station every week, and you pick up a cheap station, maybe get 1 or 2. Same show. You already did the show. Why not use it at other places?
Right. Yeah.
And so to me, and then every time there's once I get started on my radio station, once they have availability, like some other advisor leaves, I pick up that spot. So I've got 7 hours on my big FM station, the iHeart station right in this area. But it didn't happen overnight. I started with 1, but it was expensive. I held my nose, but I didn't hold my wallet. I let my wallet come out, because your wallet can get in your way. And I went on credit cards the first couple months to make sure that I had enough leads come in. But it's a hard decision sometimes. But the best station is going to get you the best leads. We've seen the people that fail in this business are ones that pick the cheapest radio station and don't add the more expensive one when it becomes available.
Okay.
All right. There's nothing wrong with starting on the cheap station, because the first couple of months you're probably not going to be as good as you're going to get better every single month.
That's right. Yeah.
And so why not start in the single A's and move up to the major leagues?
Yep.
But if you're very confident in your show, we're confident in what we're going to produce for you. But if you want some training wheels, or you don't want to spend as much, but don't start on a cheap station and then say radio doesn't work.
Right.
Because a cheap station is never going to get the leads that the big station is going to be. We see this in Atlanta as a big one that happens on WSB's, the big dog station. There's a few cheaper stations, and the advisor to start on the cheaper stations usually fail because nobody's listening.
Yes.
I don't care how good of a show you're doing. If there's nobody listening, you're not going to get as many calls as you would on the station that has the listeners. Okay, so that is step number 1. And step number 2 is TV. You could do TV shows. They're going to be more expensive. Now, to produce a TV show, we can tape it from you. You could be in your office, and we can interview you on a radio style, or you fly in for a day or 2, and we tape 10 to 12 different TV shows, which is a season.
Okay.
And then we air them, and they rerun them a couple times. Right, so you don't need to do a brand new TV show every week, because not everyone's going to be turning in every week. Again, but the more expensive stations are the best for that on TV too. Yep. You can play it on the community access channel, but Justin, when's the last time you tuned into community access?
I didn't even know there was such a thing.
Somewhere they have to have one. It's required under law to have a community access channel. It's the most boring TV you've ever seen, so that's probably why you haven't saw it.
Yeah.
So, but that works. TV and radio together, so somebody sees you on TV, they say, I hear this guy on the radio. We need to go see him. So again, it makes you look like you're everywhere. Now,
but radio's primary.
Radio is the number one, dude. I'm telling you, per what you spend and the credibility and the number of appointments and the number of sales. I mean, we write over $100 million a year just from radio. $100 million in premium on annuities on radio.
Wow.
And so we have other lead sources too, but radio is by far towering over everything. We even have a TV show, but the TV doesn't anywhere near perform like radio does. And it's more expensive.
Sure.
But now, anyone who signs up on our radio network is welcome to come in here and record with their host for a couple shows when they start, and see how we run our business here, and show you what happens when you get a lead. What do you do with it?
Yeah.
You know, if you get a lead and don't know how to close, then we can show you some ways to close, but we can't close the sales for you. Our job is to get you people that are interested in talking to you. Once we've done that, our job has been fulfilled, but we try to help you the rest of the way too. Here's what I use to sell people that come in from radio. I've designed specialized whiteboards. We're patent pending these right now, trying to get them patent on them. It's kind of tough on a whiteboard, but we can share and design one for anyone in our network with their logos on it for whatever it costs. I mean, we had like a couple $100 production fee on there, but we show you how to get it right from the company, so you're not going through us to get to that. We'll show you the exact person to contact to get it done. It's sent right to you. So the whiteboards, we have a workbook that goes along with it too. We have worksheets. But again, once you get a lead, the hard part's done, as far as I'm concerned. If you do a good radio show, they've called. So now it's up to you to lose the sale instead of make the sale. So you're going to talk yourself out of it more than you're going to talk yourself into it. They're all ready to go most of the time.
Yeah. So those whiteboards, real quick, those whiteboards, when you gave me a tour of your office, I saw those whiteboards.
Yep.
What's the best way to describe that? Like, some people will use like a retirement analyzer or e-money to design a retirement plan. And it seems like you guys are doing that in real time on a whiteboard so they can see the visual of it, and you're just designing their plan in that first appointment. Is that the best way to describe it?
Well, we're helping them try. We're not designing it, but we're helping them identify where their money is right now, because most people don't know where they are. Yeah. Remember going shopping when you went to the I don't go to the malls anymore. Remember going to the mall back in the day?
Yeah.
And you look for that sign, because I always like to find the food court. So I'd walk in and I'd have to find that big map, and it would have that that red X. You are here. So you had to find out where you are before you can decide where to go. Same thing in the financial world. Most people don't know where that red X is on their plan. So we help them diagram out. And Thomas will share with you. We're taping this right now, right? So we're going to air this. So Thomas will share with you the whiteboard picture so we can have it go up when we talk about it right now. So we basically, it's colors: red, green, yellow. Red, risk; yellow, emergency money; and green, safe money with income. Has to have income attached to it. Lifetime income you cannot live. And so most people that come in don't have any money in the green accounts. And so their main question is, how do we get some of our money repositioned into the proper place for our time of life we're in? It also has the rule of 100 on the board.
Okay.
So 100, basically you take your age, put a percent after it, that amount should be in a safe place.
Yes.
So I'm 59% of my money should be in a safe place.
Okay.
Instead of doing all the math. They usually say, 59 minus 100 is blank, but this money's safe. Anyway, 59% should be in a safe place.
Yeah.
So is that an absolute rule? No, it's not a rule. It's a guideline. Like everything we do, there's no rules here. The rules are you don't steal people's money and you don't combine taxable and non-taxable money together. Those are money rules.
Yeah.
The main rule we practice is to make sure that if our people are getting ready to retire, we want to make sure they never run out of money in retirement. That's the oath we have, is you're going to always be, your money you give to us to make sure is safe with income is always going to be there safe with income. It's a promise.
Yeah.
And so we're not promising 12% magic mutual funds. I wish I had one of those. Dave Ramsey always talks about the 12% is put in a mutual fund, 12%. Sounds like a South Park character there. 12%. It's there's chef right here, see? 12%.
That's really funny.
12%. Children, Mr. Hinky going to come out. I don't have Hinky here. So anyway, now, my job has always been to entertain. I love to entertain. If you entertain, you get paid like Russell Crowe. Are you not entertained? They said that in Gladiator, right?
Yeah.
If you educate, you get paid like Miss Johnson, your third grade teacher. Now, would you rather get paid like Russell Crowe as an entertainer or get paid like Sally Johnson, third grade teacher, because you're educated? If you overeducate, number one, you're going to have people say this magic phrase, I want to think about it, unquote, which means you confuse the hell out of us, we're never going to be back again.
That's right.
That's what it means. Because if you do it right, they're begging you, how much money should we put in a safe place, they're saying. We need to have some safe income. Or what we spend a lot of time is talking people out of trying to want to put it all in the safe income place.
Yes.
Well, that's a fun job to have, trying to talk people out of it instead of into it.
Right.
And so then that's what the radio show enables us to do, because people get excited and our whiteboards go along with it too. So again, having the proper system, not just a way to get it. We've had plenty of people, I've talked to different advisors through the years that didn't work with us, but just meeting them at different FMO events, and they've got plenty of leads, but they had no system to make sure once they captured a lead that they made sure to not let it go. And so, and you let a lead go, number one, by ignoring them. Number two, by not having a good process. And number three, by not having the right answers for them. So we accomplish all that. And the magic of radio lead, you got to contact them right away. There's old saying back in the food days when they were out there, the hot dog vendors were selling hot dogs. What they say, get them while they're hot.
Yeah, right.
Nobody wants a cold hot dog.
Right.
Well, that's what happens if you wait a week before you call a lead back. It's a cold hot dog. They're not going to remember you. So we always call right after the show. We have a special script that we use too. Even if you weren't in the studio, it's Coach Pete calling. I've just left the studio, saw you call during the show. What can I help you with? Boom. Okay. Boom. They're flattered that you called them back.
Yeah.
You didn't just leave the studio. You pre-taped the show, but they don't have to know that.
Yeah.
If you have somebody else calling for you, like let's say Thomas, he's my producer. Let's say I made him, he basically is behind the scenes on the show, but let's say I made him call the leads and verify him afterwards. Hey, this is Tom Lipscomb. I'm a producer for the Financial Safari Show. We just left the studio. Coach Pete wanted me to reach out to you.
Wow.
Boom. Coach Pete actually told you to call me. They get all flattered, right? So it's just the magic of media, and no one's going to be a bigger believer than someone who just listened to you for an hour.
So somebody, you never answer calls during the show.
No, that's the worst thing to do. Because you're out of control then, and you're supposed to be on the radio. And number two is we never trust a phone answering service with these leads. A lady could be breastfeeding the baby with one hand and have the phone in the other, and the baby's crying, and she's trying to act like she's your company. Yeah. The first contact that someone has with my firm, I want it to be with me or one of my advisors, not with somebody who doesn't care about what happens to the lead. And let's say you do use a phone answering service, and the people chicken out at the end. They call when the person answers at the phone answering service and they hang up. You as the advisor never even hear about that. With us, we use a program called Ring Central. It's a voice system, so they either leave a message, but if they call and they chicken out, we get the caller ID that they called. So here's what we say to them. We convert more hang-ups to appointments than calls. Hey, it's Coach Pete. I see that you called during the show, but for some reason, your message didn't come through. We know that they didn't leave one, but for some reason, that's why the reason was. But they don't know that we know that they didn't leave a message. For some reason, your message didn't come through. What question did you have that I can answer right now? And then shut up.
Yeah.
The worst enemy in the advisor's world is the advisor's mouthpiece. It doesn't know when to stop. You have 2 ears. God gave you 2 ears, 1 mouth. The ratio should be you listen at least 60, if not 80% of the time, and the only time you talk should be asking a question or answering a question that somebody asked you, but you should be the one asking questions and then shutting up and letting them answer. If you can have that control, where if you're the one asking questions and shutting up, you're the one winning.
So how do you convert calls into an appointment? Because I've heard the argument, use somebody that's not licensed, that doesn't know anything about it, so they can just say, hey, I'm just taking the phone call. The best answer for you, the best thing for you to do is to come in for an appointment. If you're the advisor making the call, how do you keep from just giving away free information and not converting that into an appointment?
Well, any question they ask basically says, that's a great question. If it's a really impossible one, you can't figure it out. That's a great question. Never had that asked before. Let me check with the authority on this and get back to you. Fair enough. But if they're asking you just point blank questions, is this annuity or how much should I put in this? You say, well, that's a great question, but everyone is different. It'd be like trying to send you a haircut over the phone. And so what we recommend, and our license does not allow us to give advice over the phone if we don't know your complete situation. Let's come in, let's go through our whiteboard, and let's get you the proper education so that you might be asking a great question now, but maybe there's 5 other questions you should be asking. Let's educate you first so we can go through questions and answers in person, and I can give you these answers in writing. Fair enough? Boom. And so they'll come in. Why not? You've got the information. They need it. If they, there's always going to be somebody out there who's a smart ass. We put up with it. I mean, in any walk of life,
right.
It's not 100% easy laydowns, right?
Yeah.
But the people that put up the biggest walls that I've found in my life, the biggest walls, once you can knock a hole through there, it's the easiest sale in the book, and they love you.
Right. Yes.
If you can educate them the proper way, and of course, I want them to be skeptical. You should be skeptical. Everyone's trying to screw you these days, it seems like.
Yep.
But there are some good people out here, and we are the good people, and we want to make sure they get the plan they deserve. So, but media helps us get the people that we wouldn't get in seminars a lot of times. A lot of people won't go to seminars. And so, and we can, again, if we want to do fancy tax planning, and we say right on the show, this offer is for those of you with at least $1 million of income right now and getting ready to retire or in retirement. This is special tax planning we're going to do for you, showing you proper repositioning techniques or how we can do Roth conversion strategies to minimize your taxes. Well, you're not going to get as many calls, but you're going to get the people you asked for. It's a dog whistle. Anyone with $1 million income is not going to start listening now. So you get what you asked for on radio. If you don't have a qualifier, say anyone who calls right now, we're going to give you a free plan. Well, you're going to get people that you never want to talk to anyway.
Yeah.
So put the qualification. We show you how to qualify. We show you how to ask it and incorporate it in the calls to action too. So it works pretty good. Now, TV, like we said, so many choices, so many different services. Netflix, Amazon, YouTube TV, Hulu, all these places. Well, and millions of choices, but there aren't many choices for a network online. You're in your office, you want to have the computer going, but you want it on financial information all day long. You want to watch different shows. We've developed a TV network now that's going to be streaming. It's 100% streaming, but it's a real TV network. It's called the Financial Speakeasy, financialspeakeasy.com. or financialspeakeasynetwork.com. And we're going to be officially kicking that off here in 2026. And it's going to be a way for advisors to have a 30-minute show. It's actually 26 minutes about the clock. A real show, just like you see on CNBC, non-salesy, but you'll be on there. It's like a video brochure on a real show. So you have relevant topics every single week. We'll help advisors develop a show name and help them with the filming and how to film it and that kind of thing. We could do it remotely. We could film the show. We advise some advisors to fly in every now and then, come on live every now and then. But you'll have a live show time. You'll appear every single week at a certain time every day. So maybe Tuesdays at 5 or Tuesdays at 3 or whatever. That'll be your time every single day, and or 3:30 or whatever. And then we're going to put real commercials in there for you. And so the selling will be done during the commercial, not during the show. When we do a radio show, the selling has to be done during the radio show because you want to get callers. That's how we have to. That's how we survive.
Yeah.
But you need to entertain at the same time, and that's what we try to do with my Financial Safari show. Is we educate and also we call it investainment, because we educate. We also try to get people to call us to invest some time with us, and so we can help them with their investments. So but the Financial Speakeasy Network is going to be a big thing, I think, because it'll be a TV network that you don't have to have a TV for anymore. You don't have to have a cable subscription or something like that.
Yeah. Because is it streaming on YouTube 24 hours a day?
It's on YouTube and Rumble 24/7. But it's if you go to financialspeakeasy.com, it'll take you right there to the options. You click on YouTube or Rumble. And so we like Rumble. Rumble's going to be bigger and bigger as we go forward. But YouTube is good. YouTube displays a lot of games. You can't say certain things, and they start blocking you. Rumble is a free speech network, so Rumble doesn't interfere with you. So I've heard a lot of people complain about Google. I've never had any problems with YouTube or Google, but some people have.
Yeah. So if someone goes to financialspeakeasy.com, they can see is it a beta? It's the beta version.
Yeah, it's running right now. It's live now, but we're not advertising it as live. But we don't have many. We're using rerun shows from 9 to 5. When we go live, we're gonna try as much as possible to have a live show every single half hour from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern.
Okay.
And then reruns, sort of like when ESPN was first developed. They had some live program, but I learned a lot about Australian rules football because they would just do reruns of Australian rules football every night on ESPN.
Okay.
So we're going to get bigger and bigger, and it's not going to be we're not going to allow salesy shows because we want to be like the public education network with real commercials inside the show. But we don't want selling done on the show because then it'll start sounding like an infomercial network and people will stop coming.
Yeah.
So the less you sell, the more you will sell.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny,
Yeah.
isn't it? On TV, radio, the exact opposite. But TV, we can draw the pictures, we can show pictures, and we don't have to use our voice to spend 1,000 words to try to draw a picture. We can have pictures on the show, and
Right.
so we'll build credibility that way. And there's some shows on there right now on 3 p.m. every day. Right now we're live 3 p.m. Eastern with the Financial
Okay.
Speakeasy Show. Now that show name will change when we go live because we originally were just going to do a show and post it on the internet. I said, why don't we just do a network and have a whole slew of shows that people can watch all day long every day? And so here we
So what
are.
kind besides financial shows? What else is going to be playing on that network?
Real estate, mortgage, maybe even some car shows about the newest cars. I've got some car people lined up. A car mom, her name is, and she goes and features different cars every week. So it's pretty cool.
Okay.
So yeah, it's you name it. I don't think we have cooking, but maybe we'll be able to tie financial into cooking.
Okay.
Financial gumbo. I already have that.
Do you? I love it.
And annuity soup. We have that.
Nice.
Annuity soup would be a good show, actually. Someone talk about different annuities every week.
Okay.
We're not afraid of the word annuity. Actually, the word annuity is something to be proud of. I've talked to Tom Hegna, as a buddy of mine, a lot. And he's got 13 different annuities for himself that all have lifetime income. And he said, Coach, anytime anybody asks me what I have, I'm proud to tell them I have annuity.
Yeah.
Because I think in the business world, in the industry, we've got so shy because the brokers have slammed annuities so much over the years because they don't want the money going away from their brokerage accounts that we've got trigger shy to even mention it. But I'm never afraid to mention what it is. I've got them myself. I've got my mother-in-law and my mother both have annuities, and that's enabling them to have a lot more fun in retirement than they ever dreamed of having.
So you'll
Mother-in-law
talk
during
about-
the holidays, she basically said, I'm glad we bought those annuities for you because we never worry anymore and we're vacationing all the time. My father-in-law gives a dirty look because he hates traveling. She's dragging him everywhere.
So you'll
Hey.
mention annuities on TV, on radio, on
Not
anywhere.
afraid
You
of,
don't
yes.
have any problem.
Yes.
Yeah.
But, again, keep in mind, when you do, you're going to get Google slapped because they're going to put annuity into Google.
Yeah.
So instead, you can just be proud of it. We don't make it a point to say annuity all the time. But, we say annuity soup. They'll go to annuity soup. They'll see our site. Financial cruise control, annuity. Retirement autopilot, annuity.
Yep.
Financialfillup.com, annuity. So anyway, we're not ashamed of them. They do
No.
a good thing. But again, people just hear, unfortunately, 95% of their lives are what people hear instead of what they see. And seeing is believing when you talk about this. And these are beautiful these days. Even the life insurance has improved so much over the last, say, 10 years. Now you can look at your death benefit and, you can actually touch that death benefit tax-free to pay for nursing home stays if you have the right policy. So it just makes a lot of sense, man. And then so we're going to offer this at no cost for the first 3 months as we get started. So from January, February, March, it'll be no cost for people to be on the network as long as we find the show be nice. You can supply us a show, we'll run it.
Yep.
Or we can help produce a show. Now, we have to charge you if we produce it, obviously, because I have to pay my staff to help produce it. We can produce a weekly show. You can fly in, and we could do 10 of them, and we can launch them each week for 10 weeks. I think the most important aspect will be to get the system set up. There's a different video system to set up. Thomas, I don't think it'd be more expensive than $500 anyway, would it, for the lighting and the sound and a nice camera?
Things are so efficient these days. Yeah, it's not much.
So you can actually do the show from your own office.
Wow.
And of course, we want to make it more entertaining because we want to make sure that we're not just one half-hour show after another where different advisors sitting at their desk.
Yep.
But you can actually get in your car. You can tape a show from your car. You can tape a show from a park. I mean, this is as long as the sound is good. I've seen too many advisors ruin whatever they're saying by having bad mics or no mics at all. So you hear echoes. So you end up listening to the birds chirping instead of the advisor. So again, but we help with a lot of that stuff. So we're gonna our job is to have quality, or our goal is to have a quality network with the shows we can be proud of every single half hour on that station.
You said something that caught my attention about editing and producing and stuff. I was talking to an advisor a couple of months ago, and I talked to him about the broadcasting experts. I wanted to make an introduction. He's like, well, the problem is my organization I'm with right now is paying for all of my production. I have to pay for the airtime, but they're paying for the editing and production, and they're spending hundreds of thousands of dollars per year to do that. And then I got him on the phone call with you, and I don't want to speak for you, but the difference between what you say, hey, here's our cost to edit and produce compared to what he was under the impression about. So can you speak to that a little bit? Because a lot of advisors are in that same boat.
Yeah, we do it all. That's assigning you a host, getting your show notes, we even do a monthly video call to put out for best practices. We put that out, and a weekly show edited and polished up with all the music and all the sounders and all we make commercials for you that run during the show. All that for $2,800 a month. So if you multiply that times 10, that's $28,000, and you add it 2 more times. So that's like with under $35,000 a year. So that's not hundreds of thousands of dollars the FMO
Sure,
spend.
yeah,
And if they
yeah,
are,
yeah.
they're overpaying for under quality, because I've heard some of these FMO shows, and they're nowhere near as good as ours. A lot of them are pre-taped. They tape 10 of them at a time. You're all worn out.
Yeah.
You need to do a new show, just one show a week, maybe 2 at the most, because you can't get fired up 10 straight times. So they fly you in to tape TV, and then they also say, oh, go tape some radio. It's not going to be the same. You're worn out.
Yeah.
So we do it every single week. Our host is waiting for you at a certain time. You just show up to your office and turn your mic on and get the show done in an hour. And then we do it all. Now, it's only an hour for you. It's a lot of work on the back end, but it's still only $2,800 a month.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what it's like for radio, but I know with TV, they say for every minute of produced TV, there's an hour of editing going behind it. That's probably
There's a lot of time on that. Now, if you're a good advisor, like when I do a TV show, we try to do it like a live show. So there's hardly any editing. If anything, it might be dropping a graphic in that we didn't have available at the time that we were doing a show. But if it's taken that long, maybe you shouldn't be on TV. Be yourself, though. Where people get in trouble, when they're all stiff. And when you're stiff, your heartbeat's going too fast. You're really not thinking. You're under pressure. You're worried about saying something. Don't worry, and just pretend you're having a conversation on the phone with somebody. That's the advisor. And then I had one advisor a long time ago. He wasn't getting many leads, but his information was good, but he sounded mean. And I said, we'll call him Jim, because I don't want to give his real name. I said, Jim, you need to get a mirror and put it in front of wherever you're taping your show, and make sure you're smiling when you talk. He said, I never thought about that. I said, yeah, because you sound mean. And he said, and he put the mirror there, and he said, yeah, Coach, before I made the conscious effort, I looked at myself, and I did look mean. But he started smiling, and Thomas, you're the witness, you remember this. His leads went up 300% the next month. Now that's a big number. Because why? Thomas, why? Because he's smiling.
Exactly.
And he's happy.
No, but it's true, though. It's true.
So you can hear
somebody.
So much.
People
you can hear
that.
somebody smiling, right? When they're talking, you can hear if they're smiling or not.
Yeah.
You ever have a friend that's like in the friends group, but every time that friend came around, the whole attitude of the group went down because the person was always having a problem, and they always wanted to complain about something, or he had excuses all the time.
Yeah.
Whatever happened in their family, it was a drama, and they wanted you to hear about it for months and months.
Yeah.
The same problem. Well,
yeah.
That's what you come across when you're not smiling, and I'm not listening to that. I'm gone, man. I mean, I'm not staying around, and I bet that's why you don't have any listeners. So it's up to you. Yep. If you're on a good station, especially, it's up to you to keep the listener instead of lose the listener.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And so, and we call, unfortunately, we've had to call a couple people out, but it's constructive criticism, we call it. I don't even like calling it criticism, constructive advice.
Yeah.
And that advisor continues to thank me to this day and mention that I told him about the mirror, and he keeps the mirror in front of his studio all the time now.
Yeah.
So it's little things like that people want to think about. Sort of like a golf coach teaching you how to swing to knock 5 shots off your score. That's what we try to do.
Yeah.
And so it's ongoing too, because we can get into bad habits that we don't even know we have. So we give we spot audit shows every now and then. I'll pull a couple shows up each week and listen to them, and I'll fill out a report card and tell the host what they need to do next time, or if they're doing perfect, I want to tell them to make sure their advisor knows that they're doing a great job. Keep it up.
Yeah.
So we're all a big team here.
Podcasts too.
Yep. Podcast, radio, TV, and live these days. So, the podcasts are good. Keep in mind, podcasts it's a video or audio or both. For audio, it's a radio show without a radio station. And for video, it's a TV show without a TV station. So that's why it's important.
Yeah.
You do a great job, but if no one's listening, if you don't do a good job promoting it, no one's going to listen. And putting your friends on Facebook, that's not going to do anything. They're going to get tired of watching you after a couple days, probably. They're going to probably snooze you for 30 days.
Yeah.
So, yes, it's podcasts will work good. I think now a video podcast will go well on the Financial Speakeasy Network. So now we have a place where actually people will be watching.
Yes.
And so we're going to build that audience up tremendously here. By 2027, we want to have at least 500,000 people that have come and seen it. So it's a pretty big goal. But if you don't set big goals, you're never going to fill them. You're never going to get anywhere. So I've always taken my wallet and throw it, and then go try to find it.
Yeah.
So that's what we're doing.
You said a little while back that your job is to entertain, not educate. Do you mind talking? When we were there, you were just kind of finishing up some of the last touches, but something that you're doing for your ultra high net worth clients to give them a special entertainment experience.
Yeah, well, we're building a high net worth area on the third floor of our office, and we're having an auditorium built in there too. So it's designed after Michigan State's basketball room for the coaches to go over film with the players.
Okay.
So it's 2 stories. And so there's be 20 seats in there. There'll be 200-inch TVs in front of the room and a big whiteboard. So we're going to be able to do TV and radio with a live studio audience. We can even do an infomercial with a live studio audience. And we can have a talk show kind of atmosphere, too, a financial talk show where we can have live studio questions with a live studio audience. So that's pretty amazing for a little financial guy in Raleigh, right? So that's not bad. And then we're also having a putting room put in. We're having a professional putting green put in that also has electronics where we can actually, instead of putting, we could putt the ball, but we're putting towards a dartboard or putting towards a bowling pins. And it keeps score on that. So that's going in next week.
Okay.
We're all excited about that. And we have video games. We have Golden Tee up there, and we Miss Pac-Man. It's supposed to be a fun room. And then high net worth, it's just trying to be more of a high net worth design. We have a redwood forest tree in there that's turned into a table. It was a tree that had fallen down. They turned it into some furniture because they didn't cut it down, but it already fell. So they used the wood. This wood was still good, and it's the hugest table we've ever had that hadn't been two. It doesn't have 2 pieces of wood fused together. It's one big board, and it weighs over 700 pounds.
Wow.
We had to have a mover team of 4 people, and they struggled taking it up the stairs from the first floor to the third floor. So that's why you make money in life, so you don't have to carry tables upstairs. You pay other people to do it.
That's why you entertain and not educate.
So, yeah, and when I say we don't educate, we do educate, but we entertain. So when you're entertaining them, you're learning. To me, if Dad would make me sit down and watch the public educational network, that was so boring, We had to watch this all these little things on PBS back in the day. My dad was a college professor, so I had to sit there and he basically treated us like students all the time. But he put a show on called Cosmos with Carl Sagan. And I actually was entertained with that. It was amazing. And it was a good way to learn astronomy that I never would have learned before because I was entertained. So if you entertain, during the entertainment process, you can sneak tidbits into people's heads without them even realize they're being educated. So that's what we do. We entertain about income.
Yeah.
And we get a lot of calls that way. And we can show every advisor how to do that too.
Yeah, I think that's an important distinction. This is a little bit different, but I used to tell advisors, most of us think that we need to be the best educators or the best advisors in our area and then be good marketers. And it's really just the opposite. We've got to be the best marketers in our area and then be really good advisors. But if you're on radio, TV, LinkedIn, Facebook posting, and you're giving the best educational information, nobody knows about it because you're not entertaining or nobody's watching it because there's just not that entertainment aspect. It doesn't matter. But if you're a great entertainer and you're giving good education, there's the difference.
You got to capture them. You got to capture their imagination, their interest, and keep it.
Yeah.
And so you got, these days, you used to say you had 5 minutes to get someone's attention. I think you got 5 seconds these days.
Yeah.
Especially on air.
Yeah.
And so we do little teasers for our videos, like our TV shows. It can be like a little teaser or a 30-minute teaser or 30-second teaser sometimes. So like intro, if you are interested about how to reposition your Roth to make sure, or reposition your IRA so it's in a tax-free manner, we're going to talk about Roth repositioning strategies today on the show or something like that. Yeah. So, boom, now they're going to watch. It's sort of like when you post, it's called a thumbnail. So you make a big video and you want to post on Facebook or LinkedIn, you want to post your video. You don't just put generic click here to watch my video. No, you have a thumbnail. A thumbnail is basically a picture of you with Uncle Sam in the headlock, and you're giving a nookie on the head. Boom, boom. So like that would I'd want to watch that. What does Coach do with Uncle Sam? So you get your attention. They always said you can't judge a book by its cover, but you sure can judge the video, or you can get the audience by having a good thumbnail on your video. If you're just putting segment 1, episode 5, episode 6, and don't have anything but that, no one's going to click. Who cares? Yep. So you have to have something that gets their attention and distinguishes you from everybody else. And so we do a lot of that work too, coming up with cool thumbnails for videos. I love that. And audio, even audio segments. If you have an audio segment, like you tape a show, and you had a really good audio segment for, let's say, 5 minutes, and you wanted to put it on Facebook, you can't. But if you put B-roll behind it, which we do that for advisors too, we put some relevant B-roll or stacks of money or whatever, pictures of happy retirees that keep every 10 seconds a picture changes, and in the background is your radio show. People listen.
Right.
Now they're watching a video of some stock photos of old people, but they're listening to how annuity can help you. Yeah. So that kind of thing. So again, there's guerrilla marketing techniques to use like that all through the audio and video world. But the secret is to do something, Justin. If you're not doing anything, if you're complaining about not having leads, well, now it's up to you to do something about it. And if you complain to your FMO, they're going to say, oh, we can do this and that and the other. And some of them do help you, but some of them also have strings attached. So you just have to be very careful what kind of commitment you're making and what you're getting yourself into But there's some good FMOs out there, but a lot of advisors can do better on their own. And so you don't have to depend on the FMO for marketing. As a matter of fact, I've joked for years, the FMO and IMO models have forgot what the M stood for. Marketing. Anyone can process your contracts. The FMO or IMO need to give you good marketing, not only tips and techniques, but they need to have it almost done for you. Yeah, because they're making money on you.
And the reason I wanted even to have you, I mean, there's so many reasons, but one of the biggest reasons was because there are no strings attached with the broadcasting experts.
Yep.
You own everything. And I think, so many advisors leave their captive agencies to become independent, and they wind up being trapped by the same, different, but they wind up being trapped, and they're not truly independent. Yep. Where if they're doing radio, TV, podcasting, whatever with the broadcasting experts, their marketing is truly independent. They own that. They own their brand. They own their media. They own their radio. They own all of that.
The ironic thing is we're trying to teach our clients to become financially independent, and at the same time, we're slaves to the IMO or FMO we're with. Yeah, so we're not, and we're teaching our clients how to. So we need to take the same advice we're telling our clients and make sure that you have the financial independence and independence of your information as well. And so, you own it. We always encourage advisors to stick in a year because it takes us a lot of work to get everything done. Mm-hmm. We do have an application fee of $1,000. So once you apply, because we have to get commercials ready, that's included in the $1,000 startup fee, we call it. But that's the only other fee, and then it's a monthly fee, and we're not going to hold you, even though we have a 12-month contract. If you want to leave before that, we'll let you out. We're not going to bill you for it. But it's really, you're hurting yourself if you don't stay a whole year. It takes a year to build a good brand.
That's right, yeah.
And it's cheap enough.
It doesn't happen overnight.
We're not charging you a lot of money. And so compared to a lot of the lead companies out there, I used to spend $75,000 a month with one of the lead companies to share a lead with 5 other advisors.
Right.
And the leads started stinking here the last couple of years, so we got rid of them. But, the good thing about radio is you own the lead. It's your lead.
Right.
The people, not only that, is you own the space in the people's mind that have listened to you.
That's right.
You don't even know what that real estate's worth. You don't know how much real estate you control. I mean, that's why it's like I said, I've been amazed when people call and say, I've been listening to you for 10 years or 15 years or 20 years, and we finally have a need for you. But we knew you were going to be the one to call because we look at you every single week as our financial advisor, even though we're not giving them advice, really. We're just entertaining them. But they know that when the need is high for them, they know who to call. And that's what it is. Was everyone going to call? No, I wish they did. But, I mean, probably couldn't handle it if everyone did anyway.
Right.
So I always joke with Thomas, what happens if we get 1,000 calls one week? It could happen.
It could. Now,
one of the things we started doing, I've written so many books, we want to make sure to get these books in people's hands, is every now and then on the show, we'll have a sounder, and I'll say that sound means I'm giving books away this week. And we're not only giving them away, we're going to send them to you free. No postage and handling. We're actually going to send these books out, and people still can't believe it, but we do. And right after the show, we call and get their address and send them a book. And some of the people, when we're talking to them to verify the address, they start telling us the problems they have, and they want to set an appointment right away. So they come in and get 3 books. So we give them 3 books when they come in instead of sending them one.
So they don't have to come in for an appointment to get the book. You'll ship it to them.
We ship it to them, but when we're verifying the address, a lot of times they start asking buying questions. So the stupidest thing to do would be to not go down that hole with them. And so go down that path, and all of a sudden they're booking an appointment. And we've turned a lot of free book appointments into real good sales. But the goal was to get the book out to them, and then we have a video series we filmed on the book. So every week after they get a book sent to them, every week they get an email with a video on chapter 1, next week on chapter 2, next week chapter 3. So we're always in front of them. And see, the secret is once you send them a book, it's going to end up on a bookshelf somewhere, unless you can get them to have to pull it off the shelf because you're saying, hey, this week on the video, we're talking about the chart on table 3 in chapter 2. So they have to go get the book. Right, so now they're starting to get into the book, and all the books that I've written are relevant, and they're all designed to get people to want to come in and get a plan. So we also offer our books. We can have the advisor write a chapter in one of my books, and we can redesign the book.
About that,
and we can have them become a co-author with me. So
they can say, cool. I've co-authored a book, and then they can. And can you redesign the book cover to have a picture of them and stuff?
Design the book cover. We design the table of contents. We give them the last chapter or the first chapter or any chapter, I guess. It really doesn't matter. But to me, I'd rather be first or last. I am in the last scene of the last blockbuster movie, by the way. So you want to be in the first or last. You don't want to be in the middle somewhere. Yeah. So the last blockbuster. It's on Netflix. Or Amazon, it's one of those that goes back and forth. But I'm in the last scene of the last Blockbuster. If you remember Blockbuster Video, this is in Bend, Oregon. The store's still open, and a very cool place. So anyway, I'm in the last scene, so it's easy to say, look at me, last scene. So that's why the last chapter that's why I said last chapter. But you could add the first chapter if you want. To me, I'd rather have me build up the credibility all through the book, and you have the thunder at the end.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's offered. And so if you want information on that, we can do that. Again, that's another thing that FMOs offer, but again, strings are attached.
Yeah, right.
So, yeah. It's and a lot of people don't have time to write a book. You know, we have a pretty good system here. I've written 20, but it's not something I'd recommend everybody do because, again, if you do a crappy book, no one's going to read it anyway. So these books are all designed to have people. Every single chapter is written with a call to action in mind, even though we're not explicitly saying it. It is designed psychologically to make you want to call.
Okay. And there's different topics out of the 20 books. Like there's topics for.
Oh yeah, like with the big book on retirement.
Yeah.
And then we got the tax savvy retirement.
Nice.
We got the fine print fiasco, what they don't want you to buy, or what they don't want you to know when you buy, borrow, and invest. We're redesigning that because I wrote the first version of that in 2004.
Okay.
So that's been 21 years. It's time to redo that. And we also have the original book, The Financial Safari. That was written in 2003, but we're redesigning that now. And then also, there's one other book I wanted to talk about there, the fine print fiasco. Oh, 7 Baby Steps, which is and I do own the domain 7babysteps.
Nice.
.com, the number and the spelled out. You know, Dave Ramsey talks about his 7 baby steps. I've talked about it longer than he has. Because if he talked about it before I did, he'd have the domain.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but we can do that. I think that would be a really good book to co-authors if you like to talk about income planning, and that could be one of the steps.
And those are thick books too. You're holding those up like those are big.
Yeah. Well, the big book on retirement's over 300 pages. It's a big book.
Wow. Yeah.
And then the tax savvy retirement's 250 pages. So these aren't little brochures. You know, one time someone came in and said, "Yeah, the local advisor, my advisor gave me his book, and it was 58 pages." I said, "That's not a book. That's a brochure."
Yeah, right.
And it was a big print, real small book, and the artwork looked like clip art. It was just horrible, man.
Yeah.
He did that at his kitchen table one night.
Right.
Yeah.
So, man, we've talked about so much. I want to wrap it up and just like, how do people get a hold of the broadcasting experts? How do they get started? What's the best way for them to do that? And we'll post websites and links on the show notes.
Yeah, Thomas, you want to give out the contact information?
Yeah, absolutely. Broadcastingexperts.com is a great place to start if you want to check out our studios, see all the services that we have and can provide. You can always give us a call to 800-991-7060.
Do that number again.
800-991-7060. And my email address is just Thomas, THOMAS, at broadcastingexperts.com.
I love it.
And if you want to see some of the stuff we do, like you want to see, like it's one thing for someone to talk about it, but if you don't really, then you sign up and you figure out we're just doing stuff out of a box and our stuff looks crappy and all that. No, go to CoachPete.com. CoachPete.com has a lot of the videos. We even do a sizzle reel on there. A sizzle reel is if you do any seminars, instead of depending, or you do any public speaking, instead of depending on someone else to introduce you, you've always seen that. He is also, they're reading a piece of paper and they misspell your name or whatever.
Yep.
A sizzle reel tells everything that people need to know about you without someone having to tell you. So pictures of anything you've done, we built sizzles. So you can see my sizzle reel, CoachPete.com, and you need one of those if you're doing any kind of public speaking or whatever, because it builds credibility without losing the thunder and somebody not pronouncing things right or reading wrong the introduction. There's nothing worse than somebody screwing up your intro, because then you have to get in front of the group and then you're in an uncomfortable position. Should you correct the guy who introduced you or just move on? Well, he didn't give you the thunder you needed. So if you build credibility up before you get up there, people will stop and listen. If they don't know who you are, they're going to keep talking. You know what I'm saying?
I'll tell you what, I was at my previous IMO that I was the chief marketing officer at. I spoke at a huge conference we were doing. I got up to speak. In previous years, I had gotten up and someone would slaughter my name or slaughter the introduction or whatever, and I always hated getting up.
And it puts you in a bad mood then, because they screwed it up. Now you're not happy anymore. You have to spend the time correcting them. So that's my good sizzle reel is important.
We had a girl on the team that created these 30-second sizzle reels. And I'll tell you what, I walked up there thinking I was the baddest speaker, and I don't think I am, but the feeling, it gave me goosebumps to walk up. It made me feel so important and so good, and made me look good.
So then everybody in the audience felt the same way. So and then you were confident, you felt good about yourself. Yeah, and so and he started talking to you. You get a standing ovation. See, there's where the magic is. So sizzle, and sizzle doesn't have to be long. Matter of fact, the longer it is, the more thunder you lose. So 30 to 45 seconds is all you need. Mine's a little longer because I have so much stuff I'm doing. But we could whittle that down. We could make it smaller too. But I think for on the internet, it's a good sizzle reel to look to see that we're not just puffing smoke. We really know what we do, and then we practice what we preach.
So CoachPete.com, people can see examples of that, and that's what you guys do.
And then Broadcasting Experts with an S, broadcastingexperts.com. If you want to find out more information, see some of the show kind of studios and these kind of things.
This has been awesome, Coach. Thank you so much for being on the podcast. I can't wait to edit, produce this, get it out there for our advisors. Guys, check out the Broadcasting Experts. Check out CoachPete.com. I highly recommend this, and this has been so good. I appreciate you both. Thank you so much.
Yeah, look forward to seeing you again soon, brother.
Yeah, looking forward to it for sure.